fell, smacked my knee. I was wearing shorts. It was really hot out. And it was a weird feeling, sensation, but I like kept skating. It was just like felt like it hit really perfectly in a weird way that it never had happened before, you know?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I just kept skating. It was on like a hot one, skating every day. And like slowly but surely, it just started like stiffening up and like just feeling whack, you know? Like, and initially I thought it was muscular, you know, like I was going to PT and like trying to get my muscles in shape and just like get stronger, but like because there wasn't any like classic instability shit. So yeah, I did that and like didn't really get better, kept skating.
So you could skate on it after the
Yeah,
injury?
I was skating like that same day. Even after I smacked it, I like continued to skate and landed my trick and everything. Wasn't even a big deal. I thought I was like felt maybe like a bone bruise or something, but like vague, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally like I was just like at home one night like last winter, and I like what initially made me realize that it was really fucked up was like I sprained my ankle of the same leg. And that I was like, I hadn't sprained my ankle in forever. Like before this, I hadn't even really been hurt for like years, like aside from like a bruised heel or some shit, you know, like nothing serious. Luckily, I'd been so lucky for so long, and then like this just fucking happened, and whatever. It was like 6 months, sprained my ankle, and then like trying to get back from my ankle, I realized like, holy fuck, my knee's like weird as hell, but it wasn't like unstable. So whatever, kept trying to skate, just like doing PT, like exercises every morning, every night, and then just like stiff, you know, like typically I couldn't really do like my routine stretches and shit. And then because it was like tight, it was like getting like arthritic kind of is like what I was experiencing. And then one night I was like, it started getting really bad about like this time last year, like before the winter. And I think this time last year is like when I had a fucked up ankle actually. And then I realized my knee had like a floater in it, and it felt like a little jelly bean, you know, like I was just like at home in bed watching TV, like massaging. I was like putting CBD on my knee. I don't even know if that works, but like I was just doing it. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like a little floater, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like Googling it, and I found like it's called like a loose body, and it typically means like you chipped cartilage, which is like some shit I never even heard of, you know, like the only knee injuries I've really ever heard of were like ligament oriented, like meniscus or ACL, MCL, shit like that, which like cause instability, and I wasn't experiencing that. So yeah, I like went to the doctor after that because I said like if you have a loose body, the only thing to do is like get it taken out like orthoscopically. Like
so it was the cartilage was in the top of your kneecap, or like how does
no,
that
it's like I guess I hit the side of my knee, and there's like on the ends of your bones there's like glossy material that helps it's like cartilage attached to the ends of bones. Like you'll notice like on the end of a chicken bone it's like glossy, you know, and that's like a thin layer of cartilage that allows like provides cushioning along with like your meniscus and shit. And it's basically like a secondary meniscus, which I learned. I never heard of anybody doing this, and I've been to mad physical therapists asking them like what my deal is, and you know, no one ever brought this up and shit. And like I don't know, I found a loose body, and I tripped out because I basically like read the outcome of like what I've gone through this past year is like you're gonna have to do like a cartilage regeneration or just like deal with it, and your joint becomes arthritic progressively over time. So I went to a doctor. Dude kind of sucked. He was like or a surgeon. He was like, he did what he had to do, like take out the loose body and check it out, but he was very short with me, didn't really explain anything. And like insurance, like dealing with the medical system this year is just like a fucking headache, you know. It's like you don't know who to trust, like people don't get back to you, you get mixed reviews. Like I pay for insurance, like certain good doctors don't even take that shit. Like I just like bought insurance because I was like, okay, this is what I should do, and like if I didn't have insurance I'd be fucked, like, you know. But eventually I found a surgeon that seemed pretty dope. Like after I had this first dude take out the loose body, he's like it's kind of big. He referred me to another surgeon to like see. He's like, you could maybe like run it, and like who knows, you might be fine, you know. But yeah, he was like really vague and didn't want to fucking talk to me. So I was like, this sucks. He referred me to a surgeon that didn't take my insurance. So I was like, okay, back to square one. Gonna see what's good with this other surgeon. And I saw him like near like Columbus Circle. Pretty cool guy actually. Like was down to discuss it and like go over the MRI, which the previous surgeon never did. Go over like what the previous surgeon's like post-op write-up, which like he left out mad details, and there was like conflicting shit on the MRI and the post write-up. So he was like, damn dude, I'm gonna have to like reopen you up to check this out, because like it's kind like I can see on the MRI you have a pretty large defect in the cartilage, which is like causing you like arthritis essentially. Like that's what.
Sorry to interrupt you. So you got the surgery, you got the shit taken out.
Yeah.
Then it closed. It was bothering you. So then you went, and then he was like, "Damn, I might have to reopen it up."
Yeah, like I got this last surgery in May, like right before the summer, or like end of May probably, right before the summer. It took like 6 weeks, and I was just like skating. I was like, fuck it, I gotta like try to film, you know, like I gotta skate. But it's like been a pain in the ass. Like my shit just swells up, and like be able to skate like I can skate, and I'm thankful for that. And my shit's not like popping out of place or anything, but it would just like stiffen up, and basically felt like this leg was like 80 years old or something, you know, like super rugged, just getting swollen and stiff, and like couldn't pop as high and shit like that. And then so I saw this other surgeon, and he was like, yeah, you could probably run it for the summer. And I was like, okay, I wanted to try to film something because we were working on a project, you know. And I thought it like if I was going to get this cartilage replacement, which basically was like you got to get like what we do for this typically, there's so many different options. There's like 4 or 5 different options. There's like stem cell, where they like take your shit, grow it in a lab, and then reapply it. And then there's like the traditional thing, which has been like the regular protocol, was for the past like 50, 70 years or whatever, like before the newer technology, is they would just drill holes in your bone, which like created some like your bone to react and like grow fiber cartilage, but it's not the same kind of cartilage. So like the success rate of that microfracture is like 50%, so it's not that good, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, you got a pretty big defect. Like what I think is the best call is like to insert like a cadaver plug, which is basically like a dowel joint in like a piece of wood, you know, like you're filling a hole with like a dowel. And like what he did was like, this was like a few weeks ago, he just like cut me open. It was gnarly, like going under anesthesia. They gave me like spinal anesthesia, stuck a big fucking needle in like my artery in my leg and my inner thigh. It was fucking weird. And I just like woke up with like burning pain, and like he said it was going to be gnarly, but not as bad as I really anticipated. It was like really fucking gnarly. They do like a knee replacement operation where they cut an incision all the way down your knee, cut it open like 8 inches, peel your kneecap back, drill into my femur like a hole, like get rid of the defected cartilage, make a perfect hole, and then drill into the bone a couple millimeters and like plug holes into it, and then sculpt like a perfect piece out of a cadaver and press it in. So
that's insane.
Yeah, it's really gnarly. And like I was reading about this like pre-surgery, just like tripping. I'm like, dude, how the fuck can they even do this without messing up, you know? Like this is so nerve-wracking and like scary. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to have to deal with this.
That's crazy. I mean, like essentially what they're doing is like they fucking put your knee through a massive car accident. Yeah. But they make it so that the healing process, it heals like to a new version, like for it to like they destroy it so it can come back, I guess, stronger. But like when you wake up from the surgery, your knee just went through a car accident. That's what happened.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. It felt like it just felt like a hot spear or something had like stabbed my leg. Like the sensation was like burning, like it was like set on fire. It was really gnarly, and I was like tripping out, like post anesthesia, post surgery, just like in the waiting room, like bugging, like I was kind of like, I guess like causing a fit, and they like shot me up with like some gnarly narcotics. Like I'm like, dude, what is that? He's like, fentanyl, shoots it up, and I'm just like this. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I wake up, and they're like, I didn't want that. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is weird as hell. And then, like, I had a friend, like, OD the week before on drugs, like, rest in peace. And, like, I didn't want to fucking be on drugs, like, right after that. Like, this, like, it's just, like, chaotic in a hospital. They're, like, so overran, like, to their credit, like, with fucking COVID and everything. They're just, like, kind of operating on fucking, they're overworked and, like, not really, I felt like it was really dicey, like, post-op. Like, the way they discharged me was fucking weird.
I mean, just thinking about it, like, from what you're telling me, it's like, if you really think about it, like, the medical process is not natural. Like, there's a difference between natural medicine, which would just be, like, shit to heal, like, minor things. But, like, things like cartilage just breaking out of your knee, like, in the natural world, before we had crazy surgeries where they put your knees through car accidents, like, that's when you're done. That's like when you die because you can't run fast enough or some shit.
I mean, 100 years ago, there's, like, anything that goes wrong, you're fucked.
You're fucked. Yeah. Like, it's done. You can't, like, if you chip, which is crazy, all that came from just you chipping probably a relatively small piece of cartilage.
I mean, the reason I got this, like, I don't think if you're a normal person, you would have got this surgery. Like, the reason I got this is because I skate every day. And, like, to be honest, it didn't really hurt that bad prior to surgery, like, if I, like, on a day-to-day basis, if I wasn't skating. Like, I'm sure there's, like, you know, millions of people with cartilage defects and arthritis that don't really do shit because they don't, like, jump down the stairs all the time, you know? So it's, like, not really a big deal to them. But in order for me to, like, maintain what I'm doing, they basically had to fucking, like, smash my knee apart and then, like, rebuild it, which, like, felt like shit. And the surgeon was pretty, he, like, warned me. He's like, this is a very invasive surgery and it's gonna be fucking gnarly, but, like, you'll be fine. And I'm, like, reading about it and stuff. Like, I have a tendency to kind of freak out and just, like, read online about everything, like, when it comes to, like, medical conditions and shit like that. But because, like, I wanted to know what was good also. Like, I don't really trust doctors. Like, I want to know everything. And, like, I take it with a grain of salt. Like, I know there's a lot of fucking, like, misinformation and, like, negative shit out there. Like, if you're reading reviews, you're obviously gonna find the fucking horror stories, but, like, I still,
and you cling to those horror stories.
I mean, I try not to, because I'm aware that that's, like, what you're gonna find, you know. That's, like, the majority of the shit you're gonna find is, like, horror stories. But I've kind of, like, I want to be, like, well informed about, like, what is possible and, like, what my, like, find the right articles, you know, and, like, check, like, credibility behind each one and, like, take those to heart rather than just, like, reading WebMD, like, you know.